CTV News, Vancouver Island Report.
Good evening. Forensic investigators are examining every inch of a home in Port Alberni, trying to find out who killed the elderly man who lived there. 75-year-old Mervin Hankins was well known and well liked in the neighborhood. The people who lived and worked on 4th Avenue knew Merv by name and they trusted him. Many depended on him to look after their property. As CTV's Chandler Grieve shows us tonight, it may be his work as a building caretaker that introduced him to his killer.
Forensic investigators prepare to enter the Port Alberni home where 75-year-old Mervin Hankins was killed. Late Friday night, a family member entered the home to find Mervin dead.
What I can tell you is that our members received a call at 10:15 on January the 13th, Friday night. And essentially when our members arrived on scene, they determined that the 75-year-old occupant of the residence had died and that his death was suspicious in nature.
Steps away from the police tape is Hometown Automotive Garage, a place where the man they simply referred to as Merv frequented often.
Definitely stop and say hi to him whenever he'd come by, or you kind of expected to see him and you'd wave and say hi. It's going to be really strange.
At 75, Mervin was still working as a caretaker for several apartment buildings, including one right across the street from his house. Up until just a few months ago, he also managed this building, well known in the city for all the wrong reasons. There is speculation Mervin may have run into trouble with a problem tenant.
He used to manage a lot of apartment buildings, and people would get mad at him if he'd evict them or give him heck and things like that, but he was just doing his job. It all just kind of seemed to, people get in the heat of the moment with that and seem to brush off after that.
He was friendly, nice guy. And he liked talking to me, my brother. He was a nice person.
I don't have any information of that nature to provide at this time. However, of course, it's going to factor into the investigation that he was managing a nearby complex. Yeah.
Police don't know if the city's first homicide of the year is connected to the assault and robbery of an 83-year-old man in Port Alberni last week, only saying both cases are still under investigation.
It's one of the files that will be considered in this homicide investigation, and if there are any links to be drawn, our investigators will link those up.
With no suspects and no apparent motive, investigators will scour the evidence and interview potential witnesses in hopes of finding out who killed Mervin Hankins and why. Chandler Grieve, CTV News, Port Alberni.